Hey guys, thanks for stopping by. In this video, I want to show you my honest review, and I hope I will be able to highlight all the pros and cons of this product. So let's begin.
18 months ago, my wife was almost shot to death, all due to my failing ears, even though she was standing just 2 feet away from me in the alley. It was George B., 50-year-old from Wisconsin, says, I was depressed, lost, and unmotivated, all because of chronic hearing loss and tinnitus. I had tried everything there was to try and nothing worked. Sure, when I saw your website, I was a little bit skeptical at first, but things changed for me when I looked into all your research. I must say, even though it felt too good to be true, it is actually good and it is actually true. My hearing aid? Gone. That hellish ear ringing? Reduced to half in mere weeks. And soon after, gone. My memory improved. I am now able to focus better than anyone in my family. I have the energy to play with my grandkids all day long. My family is so proud of me, and truth be told, I'm proud of myself. This is life-saving. Thank you a million times. Samantha L., 46, from Oregon, who says, I used to get by with my hearing loss because I learned to read people's lips, and that helped a lot. Most didn't even know I was actually half deaf, with my hearing slowly decaying by the day. But then the pandemic came, and people had to wear masks, and I couldn't do that anymore. And somehow things got even worse, because that's when the tinnitus along with really powerful migraines came along, and I honestly didn't know what to do. My doctor said there's no fix for any of this. He said that if pharma companies had found something, he would have been able to prescribe me a medicine for it, but they hadn't. I ended up hating that guy for a very long time, and I no longer trusted the system. So I decided if they weren't able to help me, I would help myself. Good thing I did, because otherwise I wouldn't have stumbled upon your site. When I first started hearing what people were saying, even with that mask on, I thought I was imagining words, but it was all true. The migraines stopped. That annoying buzz completely silenced. And my audiologist almost fainted when he saw my test results. My hearing was back. And it's all thanks to one simple thing I did. I tried your formula. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Brandon from South Carolina, a 36-year-old who says, I was diagnosed with mild asymmetric sensorineural hearing loss, and life was very frustrating. I'm in my mid-30s and dealt with a slow decline over the last 10+ years. I'd been to an audiologist and ENT. I was told hearing aids wouldn't help me, so I started trying every method out there I could find. After years of failures, here comes your method and blows me away. My hearing is back despite all odds. I can focus better. I'm no longer ashamed to my family, and I can work like a normal person again. Thank you deeply. I read stories like this on my laptop every day, and I just have one thing to say. This could be you one day very soon. These people have done nothing more than try this powerful method. The same that every single top pharma lab and corporation controlled by the supposed elite has been hiding from millions of honest Americans all this time. But the cat is out of the bag now, and they cannot be put back. So let's not waste any more time. Let me tell you who I am. Why one of the major pharma companies listed on the New York Stock Exchange would like to see me dead. Why the powers that want this incredible program shut down, even though it has already saved over 180,000 lives. How a private pharmaceutical lab has blocked this groundbreaking solution from making it to the public eye for decades. And how you can finally use this natural formula to regain crystal clear hearing and stop tinnitus in just a few short weeks. Like I said, my name is Jake Thornton. I'm 45 years old, and I live in San Diego with my wife Megan and our beautiful son Ethan. You see, up until 2 years ago, I worked as a medical chemist for one of the top US pharma companies. As a medical chemist, my job was to research and develop chemical compounds that can be used as pharmaceutical drugs. We would work as part of a team along with other scientists and engineers to create and test new drug products. During my long career, I've worked closely with some of the world's best doctors and health specialists for huge private organizations, and even spent a decade working for 2 private companies, part of the military-industrial complex that was helping soldiers with PTSD as they came home from the battlefield. This allowed me to be part of incredible medical breakthroughs, yet none of that gets anywhere near to the hearing loss secret I'm about to share. My story starts nearly 3 years ago, on a transatlantic professional trip together with a team of 6 elite scientists. We traveled through the Middle East and Nepal, where we worked to gather data for one of our company's projects. Our mission? Very specific, to compound a new drug that would serve our big pharma employers' marketing expansion strategy. But for us, it was a holy mission we undertook on our own accord, to help those sick and ill. We were always on the move. I don't even remember how many times I climbed on and off an airplane in those days. My nightmare started slow, with plugged up ears. Nothing to worry about, right? In fact, ear pain and clogginess while flying is extremely common. But the last time I stepped into an aircraft was on our flight back home. Something totally unexpected happened that turned my life upside down. After I got off, my ears were not just clogged, but my hearing had clearly taken a severe blow, not being able to hear my colleagues hardly at all. Their words were fading away as I was trying to understand. 3 days passed, and the damage kept getting worse. I visited a doctor who prescribed me some ear cleansing solution, but after 2 months of using it, nothing changed. I was in denial that something serious might have happened to my hearing, so I brushed it off, did not visit the doctor again, and pretended that everything was totally normal. But this was way far from the truth. My everyday life has gone completely downhill. You see, never in a million years would I ever imagine how terrible life is when you can't hear anything, even something only 3 inches away. A life where you always answer yes because you have absolutely no idea what the others say to you. When you agree to things without even realizing it. And while I tried to hide it from my family and friends, they eventually saw through my awkward and unexplained charade. I'm embarrassed to say, it was more than obvious. Still, I found myself cussing in the doctor's office in anger that something like this had happened to me. Listen, Jake, I know it's hard, I really do, but it has been going on for way too long to be something temporary, the doctor said. My blood ran cold as I was praying for him not to say it. I couldn't take it. When something like this happens, it's usually due to a hidden problem we have no real knowledge about, probably triggered by constant exposure to high altitude, he explained. High altitude? People fly all day long. What about flight attendants? Why don't they get their ears broken? I shouted at him. Now, before we move on, please pay attention to this. If you're experiencing hearing loss for less than a week, together with ear pain and symptoms like extreme migraines and dizziness, persistent ringing inside your ears, causing you to lose your balance and fall down, you need to visit your doctor immediately. You may have Meniere's disease, which is very severe. I'm serious. Don't ignore this. Go see a doctor because this is a matter of life and death. Now, if you are suffering from long-term hearing loss, which has also caused you tinnitus or the other way around, please listen very carefully, because I don't want any of you to go through what I did. Your doctor will never be able to tell you where your hearing loss stems from. Sure, he may say it was caused by a hidden disease or that it was sudden and abrupt, a case for which medicine hasn't been able to offer an explanation yet. But this is exactly the problem. Having an unknown cause of your hearing loss as their excuse, they will use you as if you were a Soviet experiment, repeating countless tests on you, grab as much money as they can from you, while it turns out you are 100% healthy, and they still won't be able to figure out what is actually going on with you. I know this because it was precisely what they did to me. I was examined multiple times, and yet no autoimmune diseases, no underlying conditions, perfect blood circulation, no hidden head trauma, nothing. Then they asked if I had hearing loss history in my family. And when I told them there was none, in fact, my father was a great hunter with perfect ears, they looked at me as if I was lying. It must be from chronic exposure to loud noises, they exhaled. That one truly made me laugh because I've spent half my life with my face buried in books behind a desk. So the best they could do was to shrug their shoulders in complete ignorance. They had no idea what was happening to my hearing. But while they were wasting my time and money, a dangerous yet secret process was happening deep inside my head that was slowly killing my mind and ears by the minute. But as for me, there was a question that kept tormenting me. If I was as healthy as an ox, then how on earth was I still struggling to hear anything? If airplane ear, that's what the hearing loss occurring from airplane pressure is called, is something totally common and temporary, then why was I almost deaf for more than 6 months? It just didn't add up. So I decided to look thoroughly into it, and swore to find the real cause of it all. Doctors were claiming that there are some rare exceptions where, indeed, high-altitude pressure might cause permanent hearing loss. But still, for that to happen, there must be a dysfunctionality inside your ear. But according to their tests, no such thing existed in my case. My ears were absolutely healthy. It had been 2 years where nothing changed in the slightest to affect my hearing, while in fact, it had been sucking up my energy every single day. Concentrating on what people say has turned from annoying into exhausting. I would wake up some mornings in absolute silence, hearing nothing. Many times, a noise in my head would come and go, causing me extreme dizziness. Just being able to sleep like normal people did had turned into a luxury. I had no patience left for communicating with my family. Some days, I did not even talk to them. My wife urged me to go see a doctor again. She would have no more of this madness, she said. She actually convinced me to try any existing treatment, no matter the cost. So I opted for anything my doctor would suggest, desperate and hopeful it would work. At first, he tried to talk me into a cochlear implant, a little device placed right under the ear skin which costs $50,000, which I wouldn't be able to get insurance to cover. So basically, they're asking for a small fortune to cut you open and insert a tool inside your ear, one that they say will make you hear better. But you see, these implants not only have a low success rate, but they aren't meant to restore your hearing. They are simply meant to amplify the sounds which my ear was already not receiving. On top of that, you're putting yourself at great risk of facial nerve weakness or damage, bleeding ears, and fluid leaks in your brain. Infections that can be fatal. Of course, I told my doctor there was no way I could afford something like this, and even if I did, I wouldn't risk it. Then he tried to convince me around a less costly alternative, a $5,000 hearing aid. And he did. A little gadget I had to put on and off every single day, and that, according to him, amplified sound. But for me, it didn't change much. I still had a hard time distinguishing what was said in crowded places, and I still had to concentrate on a single individual at a time in order to understand them. In fact, after a couple of months, my hearing only got worse. Not to mention that annoying itchiness and soreness I got from the hearing aid. You see, the cruel reality is that all those hearing aid conglomerates care only about one thing: getting your money. To them, you're nothing more than a number. Another cash machine in a world that they view in profits and loss. So what I did was to open my laptop and go through anything available on the internet. Asian rituals, yoga, and who knows how many expensive pills. Even Ayurvedic medicine, TV commercials. And I'm not ashamed to admit, I even paid $2,000 to a self-proclaimed Tibetan monk that told me I would get my hearing back in 5 days just by meditating. Needless to say that all I got was a waste of time and money. As time passed, I became more distressed and miserable, eventually tricking myself into thinking I was getting better. But in reality, my hearing capacity was getting worse and worse, and I couldn't even tell. It became so poor that I've turned into a husband who is absent in the home and a neglecting father. I couldn't help but feel an immense amount of guilt eating me alive. But then, on a Saturday evening, the worst of the worst happened. I asked Megan out on a date night, dinner and a movie, like we used to do when we were young, all in the hopes of trying to remember what it was like when things were normal and we were both happy. So we called the babysitter over and then we went out to rekindle our relationship. After the movie was over, I got a sudden craving for hot dogs, which was a tradition for us back in the day, and my wife indulged me in spite of the late hours. So we took a detour through an alleyway where I knew of a really good hot dog stand. While I was waiting, my wife went around the corner to call our babysitter and make sure Ethan was all right. And that's where it all happened. When I turned my back and went looking for her, I saw what was about to become the most painful and dreadful experience of my whole life. My wife was screaming, and a masked man was holding and pointing a gun at her. I could feel the agony and fear in her eyes. "Jake, help me!" were the words she kept screaming at the top of her lungs. But due to my failing ears, I just couldn't hear her. It was only when the hot dog stand guy pointed that something was going on that I saw what was happening and rushed to my wife. It was only by a true miracle and my military background that I was able to scare the robber and make him run away. Luckily, my Megan wasn't hurt, but I was shaken. This was truly the most terrible day of my life. The pain and suffering I had caused to my beloved wife was too much for me to take. She was being mugged just a few short feet away from me, and I wasn't able to hear it. Not a single word of her cries, as she screamed in vain. And although she wasn't severely hurt or even worse, dead, something broke inside of me and I decided I wouldn't tolerate this debilitating disease for one more minute, no matter what it took. I decided to take my life in my own hands. And what I discovered, even though now I know is 100% backed by science, I believe is going to shock you as it shocked me the first time. The primary groundbreaking study came from the Journal of the American Academy of Audiology. These self-respecting scientists had asked themselves if it was possible that hearing loss could actually be the result of something else that's not ear or brain related. Since your ears and brain are strongly connected, everyone was looking down that path. But these geniuses decided to go the other way around in looking for a cause, and what they found will send shivers down your spine. They analyzed a list of common viruses that typically inhabit us all since our childhood. While these viruses are dormant in our body, they wondered if they could still be producing some sort of previously undiscovered effects. In fact, a recent study from the University of Edinburgh clearly showed that the human body typically carries 219 known virus types, most of them lying dormant inside your system. Now, there is one that may just appear to be dormant, but it's not. It's called the varicella-zoster virus, the one that gives us chickenpox when we are young. What they found is that this virus, even in its dormant state, might cause other conditions in the body. And the results they got were shockingly bad. According to the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services, after the chickenpox clears up from the body, this insidious virus still lays comfy in your nerves, and years later it may reactivate, and when it does, it goes straight to the nerves that connect the ear to the rest of the body, causing it to malfunction, bringing ear pains, the ringing in the ears known as tinnitus, both fast and slow hearing deterioration, permanent deafness, and even death, as another study published in the U.S. National Library of Medicine and the Scientific Journal of Medicine shows. But you see, this varicella virus is sneaky. As the very first time it enters your body, it causes what's known as chickenpox. Then, as your immune system fights to shut it down, the virus learns and adapts. The virus adapts and learns not to make the same mistake twice. If there's anything a virus can do, it is adapt. It adapts to avoid being destroyed. So it finds a new way to destroy the host's well-being. It creates an inflammation on the auditory nerve that basically suffocates the ear to death. All the round cells found inside the nerve are taken down like dominoes. This condition is almost invisible, and modern technology is not able to spot it. And even if it did, no one would be able to spot the connection between this dormant virus and hearing loss. Because even in 2022, everyone is still looking in the wrong direction. In fact, this is more dangerous as it can take the form of any known hearing loss disease. I was extremely puzzled as I was going through their findings, but I still didn't understand why it reactivated in my body And what I was about to find out was that it had absolutely nothing to do with airplanes. That's when I stumbled upon this breakthrough study published in 2020 in the Journal of Neurology, Neurosurgery, and Psychiatry. Apparently, this virus can be awakened in many ways, and it's so simple to do, it's almost chilling to think about. It can simply reactivate when your immune system is weakened, or even through other viral infections you get. Once a new particle of varicella zoster enters the body, it wakes up the older ones that were sleeping in the ear's nerves. In fact, extensive research published in Oxford Academics shows that 95% of Americans already had chickenpox in their childhood or later in life, and there's still over 4 million new cases yearly. This virus is literally flying around us everywhere and at any moment of the day. Even though there is a vaccine, we will never get rid of this virus because it still lives among us, and especially inside of us, no matter if we're vaccinated or we already got it. And more than that, it's extremely contagious. And then, there are other recent viruses, viral infections that are making matters worse for our ears. This thought sent shivers down my spine. In plain English, our immune system is seriously compromised by this virus, and the first thing it attacks is your brain and auditory system. At first, it starts with something relatively mild, like causing mild headaches now and then. But then, dangerous symptoms appear one by one: hearing loss, tinnitus, deafness, brain damage, memory decline. A recent study published in the Journal of Neurology has shown that this neurotropic virus is able to pass through the nervous system and start damaging nearby brain functions. And that even induces a permanent form of depression and anxiety, until one day their victim is struck by hearing loss, tinnitus, and even total deafness and brain damage. This is why many scientists have been unable to find the real cause of hearing loss and tinnitus, because they've mistakenly linked ear damage and hearing deterioration with the brain. But in reality, there is a dormant yet extremely dangerous virus that is behind these symptoms that sleeps inside their body until it awakes and wreaks havoc on your body's systems and its very life. Now, as shocking as it was, I finally had an answer, and I needed to do something before it was too late. But even with my area of expertise, I couldn't do it on my own. I needed someone that could help me. I spent an entire day interviewing some of the smartest brains in the medical world, and I'll admit, most of the advice I received wasn't new to me. In fact, I've spent more than half of my savings in this process, and I was willing to pay anyone that could help me, as much as it was necessary to. But life works in mysterious ways, because out of all the doctors, scientists, chemists, and professors I called, there was this guy that did not ask for money, and for some strange reason, he had retired from his profession as well. His name was Dr. Thomas Hartnett. Now, Dr. Hartnett was a genius in every sense of the word. His papers and studies were immaculate. Apparently, this was not your regular doctor. He had worked on the most complicated and difficult cases of hearing loss and tinnitus. His client list even included A-list celebrities and top government officials. This gentleman has earned every single award in his profession, even the Yerger Career Award for Research in Audiology, the greatest honor an audiologist can get. Dr. Hartnett was nothing less than a colossal figure in hearing science. From national television interviews to innumerable congressional testimony about his research and contribution to the field, Dr. Hartnett was an extraordinary human being. But the good doctor had one more interesting story to tell. You see, he was born and raised in the Cayuga community, following in a long line of respected doctors who have passed their secrets on from generation to generation. The Cayuga people, a small tribe which survived some of the biggest epidemics in history, are well known for their advanced techniques in organic treatments, yet mysteriously their methods were not even once portrayed in mainstream media. So when I told him about my problem and findings, he stood still for a couple of moments. At first, I thought he didn't believe me, but then, with a voice so low I could barely tell he was talking to me, he said to meet him somewhere more private. We met at his place. It seemed a little odd, but to be honest, I didn't really pay attention to it at the time. I was desperate for an answer. As we walked in his garden, he said something that changed my life. You know, Jake, most of the breakthrough discoveries have always been made by looking outside of the box, he told me. After I left my community, I signed up for Doctors Without Borders, so I could be able to analyze and study diseases in different places and find common patterns, he continued. I was puzzled. It sounded like he was talking about something totally unrelated to my problem, but what he said next left me speechless. He said he had looked at dozens of communities from all over the world trying to develop a natural and effective remedy meant to fix hearing loss. What he found was an overlap that had either gone overlooked by everyone or purposefully ignored. a significant correlation between those who suffered from chickenpox and those with hearing and brain problems. And since the communities were small, we could really understand the link between varicella zoster virus and all types of hearing loss, something which we could have never done in the States. This virus is a delayed fuse bomb for your head and ears, he said to me. Then he showed me his medical compendium, a list of ingredients he had been using over the years, part inspired from his Cayuga teachings passed from generation to generation, and part from his own research over the last 2 decades. I tried to bring this to the pharma company I was working with, and they said they are not interested in short-term profits. Not results, not solutions. They said profits. That was all they cared about. And you see this on TV, in the media, and everyone talks about how greedy Big Pharma actually is. And you know what? They are absolutely right. How else would they have made so much money they could outright rule countries with it? The good doctor confessed to me. So the best I could do is give each one of these ingredients to my clients. Imagine the potency of this formula if they were all mixed together, he concluded. You mean you've never used them all together? Well then, I am definitely your guy, sir, I yelled to him in joy. What followed were months of trial and error. We tested all these ingredients from the journal, some with better results than others. It was not easy at all. I followed the doctor's instructions to a T, never once questioning his reasoning, and eventually, bit by bit, conclusion by conclusion, mixing different combinations in different quantities, we finally achieved it. The holy grail of hearing loss, tinnitus, and brain disease. I could see Dr. Hartnett's eyes sparkled with enthusiasm as he looked over the final list of ingredients. You see, in order to make sure we only achieved the best results, we had to use a specific combination of ingredients which, during lab and later clinical testing, have been proven to only work in these exact quantities and this exact formula. Here's an explanation of how the entire process looks, and how each one of these powerful ingredients works. Step 1. Powerful nutrients enter the body and nourish the entire auditory and immune system. Dr. Hartnett wanted to make sure we give the immunity full power to regenerate and get revitalized. That's why we combined 29 incredible ingredients, all independently tested for safety and purity. These amazing ingredients are essential for doing 2 things. First, they enable the body's immune system to destroy the varicella inflammation that has been killing your ears and deteriorating your hearing and brain while shutting down the virus. Second, they reset your auditory cortex, ears, and restore your hearing to perfect volume again. Now, since the body has been deprived for years of all these amazing nutrients, once they reach your bloodstream, they will be immediately absorbed by your system. And that's when the hearing restoration process starts. Step 2. Your body starts fighting intruders all by itself. This is the most important step of the entire process. We used a specific combination of vitamin B1, B2, B6, calcium, and zinc, which have just one important role: to power up the immune system in order to fight off the inflammation and restore the hearing process. According to the scientific journal Maturitas, vitamin B1, B2, and B6 are vital for increasing optimal function and bulletproofing the entire immune system that has been weakened by tiny viral agents, responsible for the inflammation in the hearing nerves. Moreover, this study from the Scientific Journal of Annals of Medicine and Surgery confirms that B-complex vitamins also significantly reduce tinnitus. These vitamins in abundance are a super strong fortress against the constant ringing in the ears. Calcium, according to this scientific study published in the official website of the European Commission, is an extremely important regulator of our immune system because firstly, it transfers nutrients to the immune system cells, and secondly, it makes sure that the immune system cells absorb all these nutrients at 100%. Apart from being a regulator to our immune system, calcium plays a leading role in the sensory process that makes our hearing possible. This means it converts sound waves to nerve impulses, which take place inside our ear in an area known as the cochlea, where there are many sensory cells that detect sounds and generate signals that travel to our brain. Zinc contributes to a strong immune system and helps greatly in its maintenance. According to Oxford Academic, zinc is a powerful mineral, mainly for its rich antiviral properties that destroy the viral agents that plague our ear cells. As a result, the body's viral flora is annihilated and weakened to the point where it poses no danger to your system. Once the immune system is boosted by over 300%, it becomes undefeatable, and your body increases its natural ability to fight back against every single virus out there by establishing a natural immunity barrier that keeps in check the sensory cells in your auditory system, ensuring optimal function of your hearing. This basically means that no viral agent will be able to bypass the immune system inside the body anymore. Step 3. The varicella zoster virus is stripped of its power, and the inflammation vanishes. This step is when all these super strong and potent ingredients start working on cleansing the auditory nerves by eliminating the viral traces and the inflammation and regrowing the ear's round cells. To help achieve this, we added our star ingredients, Rhodiola rosea. According to the U.S. National Library of Medicine, Rhodiola rosea is a formidable plant that acts like an antiviral army that the varicella zoster infection can't stand up against. Its increased antiviral properties make sure to kill the infection right in its tracks, and most importantly, block its replication once and for all. While this extraordinary herb kills the virus and erases the inflammation, it also protects your ear cells from future damage, while increasing your focus, keeping your memory sharp, and reducing anxiety and stress. Skullcap, or Scutellaria bicalensis, is an ancient Chinese plant used for various illnesses. According to the scientific magazine Bulletin of Experimental Biology and Medicine, this old yet amazing herb contains substances known as flavonoids. Flavonoids and their antiviral activities target the virus that plagues your ear nerves, establishing normal function of your ear cells and increasing your hearing. While skullcap's flavonoids destroy the virus, further studies published in the Scientific Journal of Biomedicine and Pharmacotherapy and the Neuroscience Letters praise another active and highly potent ingredient of this plant, known as bicolin. Bicolin is directly working to heal every single area of your ears and restore the cochlear and sensory nerves' functionality and communication with the brain. Hawthornberry, which is found in Europe, North America, and Asia, has been utilized for centuries for its antioxidant and anti-inflammatory elements. The plant acts on more than one level. First, it clears inflammation from the nerve cells located in the ears. Second, it targets the virus and erases all its traces. And third, it restores optimal hearing ability. In fact, Hawthornberry establishes ear health at 100% by increasing blood flow into the auditory system, nourishing and increasing inner ear function. Then, we added Griffonia simplicifolia, Mucuna pruriens, and L-theanine, with two purposes in mind. The first one is to help restore the auditory nerves and accelerate the hearing recovery process. The second is to increase memory and cognitive abilities. All these three ingredients are known for surging cognitive performance, improving memory capacity and brain function by as much as 400%. They nourish the central nervous system and increase brain function while protecting it from outside intruders and pathogens. Since they have a calming effect on your nerves, they help tremendously in reducing anxiety and stress and have been proven to fight off depression and insomnia by stimulating the serotonin and dopamine levels in your brain. But there's more. All these ingredients combined in these specific quantities also have the role of forming a natural barrier, protecting anyone who takes them against debilitating viruses for life, and making sure you don't suffer from the dramatic consequences of hearing loss and brain damage. Step 4. You shield yourself against hearing loss and memory diseases while your entire health and well-being start to improve. This final step is the moment you've been waiting for. Your hearing is not only back to normal, but it's better than ever. Your auditory system and its activities are reinforced and increased by 200%, 300%, and even 400%. Your entire body will be virus-free and will also be immune against the varicella zoster virus's effects and other major viruses that wreak havoc on your life. Your energy and stamina will be unmatched, and your zest for life will skyrocket since your entire nervous system will be rejuvenated, and your anxiety and stress will be forever gone. And most important, you will regain your beautiful hearing, and your brain and ears will be safe and shielded against disease for decades to come. I was so excited to try this formula out. I'll have to admit though, at the beginning I didn't feel any major improvements. I was just more focused and most of my headaches were starting to disappear. Honestly, I was a little disappointed. But a few days later, something incredible happened. While I was pouring myself a glass of water, I noticed I could hear the TV from the kitchen, something that wasn't possible even with my hearing aid on. The next day, I was even able to hear my wife talking on the phone downstairs. I thought it was all inside my mind. But when I left for work the same morning, I decided to leave my hearing aid in my case. To my utter shock, I could communicate with everyone just fine. I could hear every single one of my colleagues talk clearly without having to read their lips or go closer. I didn't even ask once, "Excuse me, could you repeat what you just said?" And by the fourth week, something amazing happened. All of a sudden, I noted that my hearing was finally back, crystal clear, and working at 100%. I was able to pass every single test Dr. Hartnett put me through, and my lab results showed zero trace of the varicella zoster virus inside my body. I had no difficulty in hearing the slightest sounds. even whispers. I could hear from a long distance, focus on and understand what someone was saying in a noisy and crowded place. My dizziness, anxiety, and stress were gone. It was like my ears were reborn. I will never forget that first moment I heard my son's voice calling me Dad after such a long time. Now, even though my hearing loss has been eliminated, I wanted to see what would happen if I followed the program for a little longer. Right before noticing, my brain energy levels skyrocketed. My mind was stronger than ever. My memory was working like a Swiss clock, and I could finally play karaoke with my son. I remember sleeping like a baby that night and every other night, and hearing that annoying noise that comes from morning traffic. I could never in a million years imagine that I would terribly miss it. It was like a miracle, and I knew I had to share this program with the rest of the world. So the good doctor and I gathered a group of 70 men and women, all hearing loss victims, suffering from mild to severe issues, some with tinnitus and even with memory-related problems. Dr. Hartnett prepared the formula, gave it to all the participants, and instructed them to follow the program for 30 days. Now I expected to see some results, but I sure didn't expect to see them coming in that fast. Not long after, our phones were ringing like crazy with people crying over the phone, telling us how their hearing was coming back to normal. 100% of the participants had restored their hearing to 100% of what it had been before, in just a matter of weeks. Each one of them reported a surge in their memory and brain functions. Their focus significantly improved, and none of them experienced headaches and dizziness. In fact, many of the senior participants said they could hear better after taking the formula than they did in their 20s. It was definitely an unexpected benefit. The formula was like a super cocktail for the auditory nerves. Now, by the end of the trial period, something happened that left me and Dr. Hartnett in awe. One more person called us. He said that he kept following the program, curious himself on what would happen. When he went to see his physician, the test results showed that he had his onset memory loss diagnosis revoked. It was brilliant. Seeing that, we knew we had a limited time frame to share this with everyone. So Dr. Hartnett agreed with one condition. He said that in order for this to work, the ingredients had to come from specific places, and the mix needed to be 100% pure. So after weeks of researching, we found the right company to make our vision come true. We had the formula and knew how it worked, so we needed to assure ourselves that the ingredients would be sourced from providers that would maintain the same high quality as we had used in our tests. Honestly, that was the most difficult part, because the problem with this industry is that there are a lot of folks out there just trying to profit off of your goodwill and suffering. People trying to make a quick buck who don't care about quality ingredients. Dr. Hartnett and I searched in every corner of the world until we found the right suppliers for the ingredients. We only wanted to work with certified manufacturers to make sure that we got top quality every time. So Dr. Hartnett managed to pull some strings, and we found a small, independent, natural pharmaceutical company in Oregon. And we started looking for producers that only offer the purest ingredients. I'll tell you, it wasn't easy. It took us weeks until we found something reliable. You would be shocked if you'd know how ignorant most of these people are when it comes to the quality and purity of the raw materials they work with. We looked for ingredients on 4 continents. Dr. Hartnett used all his connections to make sure we only got top quality ingredients from certified and FDA-approved producers. The job was excruciating. We worked day and night to make sure each ingredient is mixed in the right quantities. But after over a month of hard work, we finally did it. I wanted to scream it out loud as I held in my hands the protocol that would finally give all men and women their hearing back. We called it Sonuvita. With its powerful mixture of 29 carefully selected ingredients, this program is the only clinically proven and successfully tested solution by over 180,000 men and women that's guaranteed to set your hearing back on track in just a matter of weeks. Each ingredient was specifically selected for its ear-related beneficial properties, and when combined together in the right quantities, all these superfoods have the ability to rejuvenate the whole of your auditory system and make it function at an optimal level without risky procedures or spending a small fortune on hearing aids and restricting your life. Every single capsule inside Sonuvita is made here in the US, in our FDA-approved and GMP-certified facility under extremely sterile, strict, and precise conditions. All capsules are non-GMO safe. They do not contain any stimulants or toxins, and they are not habit or tolerance forming. By now, you're probably wondering how you can get your hands on this incredible anti-hearing loss pill. You see, it's hard for me to answer this question. When we created Sonuvita, we knew that in order for this formula to work, We had to source only the highest quality ingredients. We looked in over 4 continents from over 24 providers until we found the right companies to work with. This makes our ability to keep high stocks on hand almost impossible. And then there's all the people who've used Sonuvita and experienced terrific results, eliminated hearing loss and tinnitus from their lives and rejuvenated their brain. They are all coming back for more, for themselves and for their families and best friends. They want to make sure we don't run out of Sonuvita, leaving them out. This makes our stock run out in days, every time a new shipment arrives. Plus, we're only able to produce Sonuvita in small quantities, since finding high-quality ingredients is extremely hard. This is the only way to make sure we keep the formula 100% effective. Since you're here, your package is reserved. But if you leave this page, we cannot guarantee supply when you come back. Now, you should also know that Sonuvita is extremely easy to use. All it takes is 10 seconds per day of your time, and a big glass of water to take 1 pill each day for at least 30 days. Of course, it really depends on what your actual goal is. If you want to decrease the risk of memory-related disorders and nourish your ear cells while you rejuvenate your brain, depending on the severity of your hearing loss and the level of inflammation, this could take around 80 days, which means 3 bottles of Sonuvita. Or, if you want to be completely safe, and you should know that 98% of the people who contact us go with this option, we recommend the 6-bottle package. This will help you supercharge your brain, squash the inflammation on your auditory cells, eliminate hearing loss and tinnitus, and protect yourself from memory loss, amnesia, or other dangerous memory-related diseases. Of course, we cannot estimate the level of inflammation in your auditory nerve cells. That's why, after analyzing the results of over 7,677 men and women who've successfully used this program, we recommend taking at least 3 bottles of Sonuvita over a period of 60 days. And if you want to be completely safe and don't take any chances, we recommend that you take at least 6 bottles or more over a period of 120 days. This should be enough to 100% restore your hearing, rejuvenate your brain, and shield you from other memory-related diseases as well as tinnitus. This formula has already changed the lives of over 180,000 people from all over the world, and that number is increasing by the day. People like Joanna from Miami, who says, "I had sensorineural reverse slope low-frequency hearing loss going from 70 decibels to 20 decibels. A few weeks ago, I started taking your remedy, and one evening as I walked back to my dorm room, it was January, my ears were freezing. I had a sort of, this is what everyone's ears feel like. You see, I had thrown away my hearing aids. This is what it feels like when people don't turn on the closed captioning for television shows because they can actually understand what the people are saying. Also, it blows my mind that I can just listen to people and understand what they're saying without having to concentrate. I still don't believe that it's real." Or Shannon from New York, who wrote me this morning and said, "My husband always told me to get my hearing tested. I was already lost in a group, said the wrong thing, talked too loud, made big mistakes on the phone, lots of repetition, TV at full volume. Once I had a hearing test which showed 70 decibels in both ears. I was prescribed hearing aids. Well, that wasn't the fix. I was unable to process words even with the fanciest hearing aid. So my husband kept looking until he found something that worked. I did it for him, to be honest. And was I surprised? No more mistakes, talking too loud, and being an annoyance and a burden. I owe everything to you." Or Henry, a 64-year-old from Connecticut, who says, "I woke up to tinnitus in my right ear that sounded like someone was smashing glass right beside me. I was dizzy and the floor bounced when I walked across it. When the tinnitus subsided a day later, I was stone deaf in that ear. This had a huge impact on my life. I was missing large chunks of conversations if I couldn't look at the speaker. I could only hear people if they were on my good side. When I slept, if my left ear was on the pillow, I could hear literally nothing at all. And I didn't know where traffic was coming from, and crossing the road became frightening. Until I watched your video by chance. And this was a life-changing moment. I have 3 words for you. No more deafness. Sincerely, thanking you is not enough." Stories like these are incredible, and they're merely a small number of the hundreds of emails we receive every day. Tens of thousands have already regained their peace of mind with this protocol, and all it took was just 1 capsule per day. It's been proven beyond any shadow of doubt that there is no other anti-hearing loss formula as powerful as Sonuvita. Now, you need to consider your options here. You can continue living your life the way it is right now, tormented by the hellish silence around you day and night. Spend thousands on therapies that only provide temporary relief, knowing that they will eventually wear off. Go to countless doctors that will continue to prescribe you meds for dizziness, vertigo, fatigue, stomach problems, and whatnot. Doctors that blatantly ignore the root cause of your hearing loss and tinnitus which is an insidious inflammation of your auditory nerve cells and tissue caused by a sneaky virus. Or maybe take the high road and get yourself one of those annoying hearing aids meant to mask the real root of your problem. And after a week or two, once you see how debilitating it feels wearing it, you'll end up throwing it in the garbage. Then, once you see that after all the things you've tried, nothing seems to work, you decide to pay your doctor a visit again. Which not only thinks you're stressed out or even crazy, but starts prescribing you antidepressants to make you forget about your problem, which in fact turns you into a zombie with no will to live. Exhausted and hopeless, you look into other alternatives like acupuncture or herbal extracts that are meant to temporarily bring a sense of calm and relaxation and turn up the volume in your ears. But eventually, everything else will turn out to be a big waste of time and money, and nothing will work even remotely close to Sonuvita, which has the power to reverse your hearing loss, eliminate tinnitus from your head and ears in just a few weeks from now, and keep you safe from memory-related disorders. Now, looking at the incredible benefits that Sonuvita has, you understand why I initially wanted to sell this program for $297. But while I could have easily done that and it would still be a total steal, the truth is, neither myself nor Dr. Hartnett are here for the money. We're here to make an impact and to help as many people as possible to get rid of the debilitating disease that's been following them day and night. Sure, we could have gone the easy way and accepted Big Pharma's greedy money. Let them suppress one more incredible solution and probably retire with all their riches on some exotic island. But here's the thing. I know how horrible it is to live with this maddening disease every day, and I don't want anyone else to go through what I've gone through myself. Because this terrible disease can ruin your life, even though you can't see it coming. Now, I cannot change the past, but I can give you the most powerful weapon in the world to change your future. The key to eradicate hearing loss from your life. And because I want price to be the last thing you consider when taking advantage of this incredible solution, today you have the chance to get rid of the life-wrecking hearing loss, destroy tinnitus, and protect yourself against memory loss, dementia, and brain shrinkage for just $69. Only if you act today through this website. And because I know how it feels to be overpowered by this monster that plagues your ears day and night, relentlessly. After talking to our manufacturing partner, they allowed us to give a discount on the 6-bottle package of Sonuvita. So while you're on this page right now and select your package in the next 30 minutes, you can get Sonuvita for only $49 per bottle, and also get free shipping from us for as long as we have the formula in stock. So, select the 6-bottle package or any other package you want. See if Sonuvita is currently available and join the 180,000 happy men and women who have now escaped from the shackles of this debilitating disease. Consider this just a small but powerful investment that you can do for yourself today. Tens of thousands of people are already living proof that Sonuvita will absolutely change your life. It's safe to say that a bottle of Sonuvita will restore your hearing and rejuvenate your ears from the inside out. 3 bottles of Sonuvita will also strengthen your auditory nerve cells, nourish your brain, and get rid of those annoying headaches and lack of sleep. But there is a reason why 98% of our users choose the 6-bottle package. Once you go with the 6 bottles package, in just 6 months from now, you'll restore your mental health. You'll shield yourself from memory disease like dementia, memory loss, and brain shrinkage. And it will make you immune against tinnitus. Many years will pass from now, and your mind will stay as sharp as in your youth. You'll be able to enjoy every moment of beautiful silence, even in your late 90s. Now, if this sounds good to you, look below the video now. Make the right choice for you and your loved ones and choose the package you want below immediately. Once you order, you'll be taken to a secure checkout page where you can fill out your payment details using a credit or debit card. Our checkout is 100% secure. We use the same technology that all major banks do, and the entire process takes less than a minute. Shortly after you fill in your information and confirm your order, your package of Sonuvita will be shipped to your doorstep. And remember, you get free shipping with every purchase you make today. But you have to hurry. It's the only way to secure your order while the supply lasts. You risk absolutely nothing because you are covered by our 60-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. It's simple. Select one of the packages and hit the buy button below. Try this powerful formula. Watch as your volume comes back strong at 100% and see how good it feels to enjoy the beauty of being able to hear your children's laughter. See how amazing it is to be stress and worry-free, to regain your happiness and joy for life. No more headaches, no more dizziness, no more lack of focus, no more nightmares. Just simple, beautiful hearing that you regain as the other 180,000 plus men and women from all over the world have done before you. Enjoy all this, and after 2 months, if you are not satisfied with the results, even if you've used up the entire bottle, send us an email and we'll refund every penny back. No questions asked. You have 2 full months to try Sonuvita and see the amazing results for yourself. All you have to do is claim your discount, select one of the packages below, and take advantage of this amazing deal. We'll cover 100% of the shipping costs and make sure Sonuvita is delivered straight to your doorstep in just a few days from now. But I urge you to act now. We are currently overwhelmed by the number of orders, which makes our ability to restock extremely hard, since we only work with the highest quality ingredients. When you choose the 3 or the 6 bottle package, you get Sonuvita for even cheaper. Now, I'm not sure how long it's going to last. We might be forced to raise the price very soon, so please, do not miss your chance to get this amazing formula at an even lower price. Select the 3 or the 6 bottle package, or any other package you want, and break free from tinnitus today. Be another success story that Sonuvita brings to the world. Now, there's something else you should know. I've made a lot of enemies by posting this miracle cure online. Dr. Hartnett has already started receiving threats of litigation if we don't take this down immediately. So the next time my phone rings and we're forced to take this product down, I'm afraid I won't be able to help you anymore. But here's the thing. Big Pharma's strategy is to keep you their customer for life. Otherwise, they would have already offered the solution for something as common as hearing loss. 38.3 million people in the US alone suffer from this debilitating disease, and it's not like it has been around for only a few years. But why offer a solution when you can keep milking the cash cow for years? So you can imagine they will pull every dirty trick in the book to keep you from seeing this. That's why I urge you to take advantage of this while you still can. And even if you somehow feel you've tried everything and don't know what to say, just picture this. In a year from now, when you look at your life, what's going to change? You'll remember this moment, and when you try to come back, this website will likely be gone for good. The truth is, you only have 2 options. Option number 1, you can leave this page and act like nothing happened. Ignore this powerful solution, all the groundbreaking research, and the tens of thousands of men and women standing behind its incredible results. Continue to be trapped with this debilitating disease. Waste thousands of dollars on useless therapies that ultimately fail you one by one, knowing that you'll never get rid of hearing loss this way. This may sound familiar, and I think you already know what will happen if you go down this road. You can feel it growing inside you, the hopelessness, the exhaustion, the endless anger, stress, and anxiety. The thought of living with this monster inside you that puts the whole world to silent mode, and there's nothing you can do about it. I know you don't want that. But why go down this road when you can choose option number 2? And let's be honest, it's the only one worth considering. You can stop the deteriorating hearing that's been ruining your life, and click on the buy button below now. Secure your order and be one more success story that Sonuvita brings into the world. So go ahead and select your package, then hit the button below. You are 100% covered by our 60-day money-back guarantee, which means you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Try Sonuvita and see the amazing benefits it has to offer. Still here? No worries, I understand, especially given the incredible tinnitus secret that I've revealed in this presentation. So let me answer some of the most important questions we receive about Sonuvita, so you can go ahead and hit the buy button below with full confidence. How does Sonuvita work? Clinical studies have shown that hearing loss is not related to your ears, but with a dormant virus that causes an insidious inflammation attacking your auditory nerves at this very moment. Sadly, brain-related diseases like memory loss, dementia, and many other dangerous ones also start with this inflammation. Your hearing loss and tinnitus is the red flag of something much worse that's yet to come. Here's a short, to-the-point explanation on how this formula works. Step 1. Powerful nutrients enter the body and nourish the entire auditory and immune system. Remember, the root cause of your hearing loss is due to a dormant virus that causes an inflammation that's damaging your ear nerve cells, decreasing the volume around you. Inside the classified project files, we found that the only way to achieve this is to add in exact quantities of a blend of selective and unique 29 ingredients. The first thing you notice after these nutrients take into effect is an immediate increase of your hearing, and that's because this unique blend contains powerful nutrients that, mixed together, eliminate inflammation directly in your ear nerve cells, increasing your hearing, eliminating your tinnitus, while strengthening the immune system and destroying the viral agents inside your body. Step 2. Your body starts fighting intruders all by itself. Finally, once your immune system enhances, the inflammation is eliminated from auditory nerves. The virus is flushed out of your system, and your ears start to heal and regain their strength, as well as your neuronal networks rejuvenate. Step 3. The varicella-zoster virus is stripped of its power, and the inflammation vanishes. This is where good things start to happen. Your hearing is fully restored, and your whole auditory system is strengthened and revitalized. Your focus and memory become sharper, better, clearer. Your headaches and dizziness disappear. You sleep better, and your zest for life is at its peak. Your brain is now 10 years younger since the inflammation is out of your system. Step 4. You shield yourself against hearing loss and memory diseases while your entire health and well-being start to improve. Now, the entire purpose of this project is not only to set people free from hearing loss and tinnitus, but also shield them against memory loss or brain-related diseases once and for all. In just a few weeks, your hearing will be sharp, your tinnitus will be gone, your mind will be quiet and peaceful, and you'll be protected against deadly brain disorders. And because this blend is so powerful, every single cell of your body will start to transform and rejuvenate. Can I take Sonuvita if I have allergies or if I'm currently taking other supplements? We created Sonuvita for all ages and medical conditions. The only side effect you'll see while using it will be the blissful sounds you'll be able to enjoy every minute you live. Sonuvita is non-invasive, risk-free, does not require any restrictive diets, and does not interfere with other supplements you may take. Sonuvita addresses the real root cause of your hearing loss in an extremely safe and natural way, and nourishes your ears and brain so you can stay protected against brain and memory-related diseases. You should also know that Sonuvita is produced using high-quality ingredients in an FDA-approved facility, using the latest technology and equipment. This is why we can confidently say that Sonuvita is safe to use. Now, as always, if you suffer from allergies or other certain medical conditions at this very moment, we strongly advise that you consult with your doctor first. Why haven't I heard about this program before? This is the second time I'm posting this video online. There are some very powerful people working for the multi-billion-dollar pharma industry which are trying to prevent hearing loss sufferers from seeing this video. They've been threatening me with expensive lawsuits ever since I released this information to the public, because they know what this formula will do to their bottom lines. Luckily, this video can still be shared via email and WhatsApp. They've been fighting to ban this website from all the major mainstream media websites, so please be warned. I don't know how much longer I can keep it online. Tomorrow when you come back, it might be gone. Who is this program for? Sonuvita is for people of all ages, from 20 to 80 years old. This formula is 100% natural, non-invasive, and helps remove inflammation on your ear's tissue and cells so you can easily and effortlessly break free from hearing loss. This program is also good for people who've been experiencing early onset memory loss. As I told you before, hearing loss isn't actually a condition itself. It's a symptom caused by a hidden virus that activates an inflammatory process inside your auditory nerves, something that must not be ignored, because it's the alert signal that your whole system sends that something else much more dangerous is happening. When you deal with the real cause of hearing loss, you deal with any existing brain-related diseases. How long does it take until I see the results? The beauty of this program is that it starts working immediately. Since you've taken your first capsule of Sonuvita, the battle against hearing loss has begun. Your hearing will become better as days go by, until it's completely restored in just a few weeks. Can you tell me about that risk-free guarantee again? The more results we see, the more confident we are that Sonuvita will work for you. To put your mind at ease, we decided to give a risk-free 60-day money-back guarantee for every bottle of Sonuvita. You have 2 full months to enjoy the amazing benefits of this formula. If you decide Sonuvita is not for you, you can return what you haven't used in full for an immediate, no-questions-asked refund. It should come as no surprise. If I thought this was not going to work, I would not be offering such a deal. But the 180,000-plus men and women who have tried it are now living proof that Sonuvita works for anyone, and it will work for you too. How long will this still be available? I honestly don't know. History has shown us that the multi-billion-dollar pharmaceutical conglomerates are not going to sit aside and watch as their margins turn to dust. They'll spend as much money as they need in legal fees to shut down the site. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Wouldn't you pay a fancy lawyer $1 million when you know it will save you $50 million per year in profits? That being said, this may be your last chance to get Sonuvita. The choice is up to you, of course, but I wouldn't wait until it's already too late and this website is removed from the internet. Also, you should know that the only place you can get Sonuvita is right here on this page. How do I get Sonuvita? It's simple. Select one of the packages below and hit the Buy Now button. Try the program for 2 full months, and if you're unhappy with the results, send me an email and I'll make sure you get your investment back. I'm extremely confident that you won't be asking for a refund, because this program has proven to work for people of all ages, and no matter for how long they've been suffering from hearing loss. So go ahead, click the button below, and be another success story that Sonuvita brings to the world.
Cool, right? Click the link in the description for my price discounted special.